Respect, great work. Appreciate it. Great work.
Yeah, that was good.
We're gonna train again. Easy.
There is a saying, I would say, there's a saying that a happy fighter makes a dangerous fighter, in the sense that if you put them in the right environment and their brain is receptive of what they're being taught, they're going to be more in tune with what they're going through.
3, 2, 1, let's go. Wow. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So I'm actually like, give me more, give me more, give me more.
That's his mindset in everything he does, whether it's training, whether it's work, whether it's helping other people.
The big night is just days away, and Anthony Joshua is locked in like never before. Every signal from his training camp reveals a man approaching this fight with serious intent and unwavering commitment.
You know, so I use YouTube a lot, where there's a lot of videos what I listen to, and I update it, and I can always revert back to it when I'm feeling low to get a bit of motivation. Fear comes in many forms. There's some things that I can't get over and I'll always be scared of. But I take the positive from it. Like, I'm never so confident I'm gonna win. It's probably the fact that I'm scared to fail.
Coaches aren't meant to understand that you're tired. Coaches aren't meant to understand that you have emotions. Coaches are just supposed to look at you like you're a machine, and they just want results. I may be tired, but I just got to bite down on my gum shield, because if I can perform to an elite level when I'm tired, imagine what I can do when I've got rest and when I've got energy. I've been through them days where I'm looking for sympathy and you just don't get it. It's well, but you don't get it. I always knew there could be the most talented fighter out there, especially in our industry. If they can't sell tickets, they can't put bombs on seats, they will never showcase their skills to the world, no matter how good they are. And that's why I say you have to have marketability and you have to have ability. And when you bring those two worlds together, it's a recipe for success.
There's no relaxed attitude here, no easygoing approach, no showbiz mentality. Only relentless work as AJ sharpens his conditioning, fine-tunes his striking, and follows a tough, high-pressure plan. This isn't about making headlines or stirring up excitement. It's about control, authority, and ensuring nothing gets overlooked when that first round begins.
To stay humble means treat the person who is beneath you in a different class to the same person who's above you in a different class. It's an equal playing field, and we have to treat everyone with the same respect. And that's why, you know, people fight for equality. And I think that's important, and that's why I mix stay hungry and stay humble together in such a fine way that they gel together well. Stay hungry, stay humble.
Joshua knows the stage is massive, the scrutiny is fierce, and expectations are through the roof. And that's exactly why his mindset has remained all business throughout.
That's it, and again. Good, and again. Good, 2 more. 1 more of them. Good.
You have to find it within yourself. If I've got to tell you to get up, and I've got to tell you to go to work, and I've got to tell you to do everything, then until that person stops telling you, you're never going to be able to achieve anything. So that's the best piece of advice I've been given, is find it within yourself to be motivated. You've been blessed with a brain, heart for emotions, spiritual connections.
With the clock winding down, his camp sends one clear signal. AJ isn't coasting. He's going full throttle, determined not to miss a single detail before stepping through those ropes. On the flip side, Jake Paul is putting in serious work too, training with heavier sparring opponents and sharpening his movement as he gears up for the biggest battle of his boxing journey.
There's very clear paths to being able to beat Anthony Joshua. Something about him. I was supposed to fight Gervonta and then go and fight Joshua maybe next year. When Gervonta got into his whole fiasco, Joshua was one of the first names on the list. I would say he's definitely was surprised and maybe thought I was just all talk and not actually wanting to do it and just saying it for hype. I think that's what a lot of people think. when I say crazy things like fighting Canelo or Bud or Joshua. So I think he was actually surprised to get the deal done.
His confidence hasn't wavered, but the training tells the story of someone who knows what's coming. Longer sessions, better defense, and endless practice managing incoming pressure. With hours left on the countdown, Jake's camp is all about preparation, not hype. They realize this isn't simply another influencer spectacle. It's an evening that will determine how credible his boxing venture really is.
I don't want to ask you about a prediction for Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua because I think a lot of people know what will happen. But is it dangerous for Jake Paul to be taking on a big heavyweight? You're a heavyweight, man. I wouldn't want to get punched by you here. Is it very dangerous for Jake Paul to be taken on?
I mean, no matter what it is, it can be an exhibition fight or whatever fight it is. When two guys step over that rope and they got bad intentions or they ready to throw blows, it's always bad. You got to understand that boxing is a dangerous business and the head is not meant to be hit in the first place. Doctors will always tell you the head is not meant to be hit. The body is not meant to be hit. The head is not meant to be, the brain is not meant to be shook.
As Jake Paul's camp ramps up efforts in these final moments, the wider boxing community has also turned its focus sharper, with Jim White, Simon Jordan, and Ade Oladipo analyzing the bout on TalkSport as a clash-blending spectacle with serious consequences. With the showdown just days away in Miami, the panel acknowledged its enormous commercial draw while questioning how such a matchup received approval, noting Florida's track record of sanctioning unconventional fights. Jordan argued that Paul's reputation stems more from commercial clout than sporting credentials, stressing that although Paul pulls audiences and subscriptions, the talent gap between him and a former unified heavyweight champion is massive.
If AJ was fighting an area level heavyweight now, it wouldn't go beyond a round. I'd expect AJ to get rid of him, let alone AJ being 40 pounds heavier. The Americans look at AJ slightly different to how we do. They look at him as someone that's washed up. When he was in their country, he got beat by Andy Ruiz, who's not gone on to do anything. If Andy Ruiz went on to have this glittering career, then it maybe would have made that defeat look a lot bigger. They watched him recently get defeated by Daniel Dubois. They think he's done. So they don't have respect for him maybe the way we do over here. So Jake thinks he can win. I've been around Jake and he's delusional, but he's very strong-minded. So he thinks he can win, but there's no way this should go beyond 3 minutes.
Who's the A side? Who walks into the ring first?
AJ walks into the ring first, so Jake Paul's the A side.
Dana White shifted the discussion toward financial realities, breaking down why elite boxers would consider these kinds of deals. Meanwhile, Oladipo provided balance by acknowledging Paul's contribution to expanding boxing's reach and promotional buzz, particularly via modern platforms. In the end, they all agreed that beyond the hype, this is a real fight with real risks. And if Joshua fails to beat Paul decisively, it could derail meticulously planned future moves. From where we stand and where you're probably watching, the consensus was clear: curiosity will drive huge viewership. But once the bell rings, boxing's unforgiving hierarchy is likely to reassert itself.
I think I heard you mention there are two behemoths involved here. How is Jake Paul a behemoth?
He's a behemoth in terms of his following and in terms of the pulling power he has. He's now, whether hardcore boxing fans want to admit this, he's one of the faces of boxing. And that's saying something. Like, the amount of people that put their hands up to want to fight Jake Paul when they realized the Gervonta Davis fight weren't happening. He can, like, Alexander Usyk says he wants to fight him. Like, that's the one of the biggest names in the sport. There aren't that many people.
You love this sport, Addy, and you love working in it. Is it an uncomfortable truth, if you like, that Jake Paul is part of the top flight boxing scene?
As the TalkSport debate led by Jim White, Simon Jordan, and Ade Oladipo highlighted the commercial significance and regulatory concerns surrounding Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, the conversation naturally moved to reactions from fighters themselves, particularly Michael Bisping. Reacting to the growing number of prominent predictions backing Paul, Bisping expressed obvious disbelief at the idea that Joshua could be knocked out by a content creator turned boxer, even while acknowledging how strange it is that this bout is actually happening. He pointed to comments from figures like Tyson Fury, who publicly stated he'd back Paul to score a knockout, and Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, who claimed Joshua's past stoppage losses prove vulnerability.
We had Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, a tremendous world champion, one of the best boxers of his generation. Apparently, and I don't know if he's serious, but he says that he put £1 million on Jake Paul to knock out Anthony Joshua.
Seriously? Jake Paul chins AJ, yes, they fight.
You serious?
100%. If they fight, I'm putting £1 million on Jake Paul.
And we know, first of all, that Tyson Fury doesn't really like Anthony Joshua. So maybe he's just saying that. Maybe he's talking shit. Or has he really put £1 million on? Because if he has, I want to see that betting slip. And could you imagine if it came in? I don't know what the odds on Jake Paul knocking him out are, but they're going to be pretty big.
From Bisping's perspective, these takes stretch credibility, especially when weighed against Joshua's Olympic pedigree, championship-level experience, and proven performances against top-tier heavyweights. While he accepted that Paul has improved, carries some power, and deserves credit for stepping into dangerous matchups, Bisping framed the growing optimism around Paul as a sign of how distorted modern boxing conversation has become rather than a reflection of realistic competitive balance. Bisping went deeper by grounding his discussion in boxing fundamentals and risk, stressing that Joshua isn't simply a big name, but a seasoned heavyweight with speed, timing, and fight-ending power that Paul has never faced. He rejected the notion that Joshua would need to stay cautious or fight defensively. Instead, he argued that Joshua has repeatedly shown he can stand firm and dismantle physically imposing opponents. He cited the decisive knockout of Francis Ngannou as recent evidence.
Anthony Joshua to have to dance around the ring, get on his bike, play cat and mouse, dancing around, picking shots and stick and move. No way. Remember what Anthony Joshua did to Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia? He stood there, toe to toe, waiting for the opening, threw a right hand. It was like absolute lightning and the power was crippling. Every single right hand that Anthony Joshua threw, he dropped Francis Ngannou, who is a gigantic human being who does have truly one-punch knockout power, as we know.
I need to knock him out.
I like that.
So Mighty Mouse, love you, bro, but what on earth are you talking about? Let's carry on.
Addressing speculation about the fight being staged or softened by hidden agreements, Bisping leaned on Eddie Hearn's firm denials and the legal realities of professional boxing, noting that the reputational and regulatory fallout would be catastrophic if such claims were true. From where we sit and where you're likely watching, Bisping's takeaway was clear. While the spectacle draws attention and debate, this remains a real fight with real danger. And if someone is likely to pay the price for misjudging the gap between hype and heavyweight reality, it won't be Anthony Joshua. When you step back and look at everything together, Joshua's disciplined camp, Paul's intense but defense-oriented preparation, the talksport skepticism from Jim White, Simon Jordan, and Ade Oladipo, plus Michael Bisping's outright dismissal of the upset talk, a clear picture forms for me. This fight is being sold as spectacle, but it's built on very real heavyweight consequences. I respect Jake Paul for taking the risk and for putting genuine work into his boxing journey, but preparation and ambition don't erase years of elite experience, size advantages, timing, and finishing power. We can debate commercial pull, licensing, and narratives all day, but once the bell rings, you're dealing with a former unified heavyweight champion who has flattened world-class athletes when they made mistakes.
Suggestions that the fight might be fixed, but also from people in the boxing world that look at this as a spectacle and look at this as a circus, a sideshow, a freak show attraction, and also something that is extremely dangerous. Because if this is a real fight, and apparently it is, so we'll go with that, there's a very good chance that somebody gets hurt. And I'm sorry to say, because I love Mighty Mouse, it ain't going to be Anthony Joshua.
I mean, we seen the Mike Tyson. That was all fun. That was cute. You know what I'm saying? It's fun and games and stuff. But now you're dealing with a real professional, you know. And so we'll see how it ends up. You know, like I said, I think it's...
From where I'm sitting and where you're watching from, this feels less like a 50-50 mystery and more like a test of how long Paul can manage danger before heavyweight reality closes in. My prediction is Anthony Joshua by early stoppage. Not because Jake lacks courage, but because boxing has a brutal way of reminding everyone that levels exist. And at heavyweight, those lessons arrive fast and without apology. To wrap it all up, this fight sits at the intersection of ambition, business, and heavyweight reality. We've got Anthony Joshua approaching this like a true professional assignment. Jake Paul stepping into the most dangerous test of his boxing life, and voices across the sport, from media to fighters, largely agreeing that hype can't outrun physics forever. That doesn't erase the intrigue or the bravery involved, but it does frame the stakes clearly. This isn't just content, it's consequence. Now, I want to hear from you. Does Jake Paul have anything we're overlooking? Or is this exactly how most heavyweight mismatches end once the bell rings? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's debate it out. And yo, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Headquarters. See you in the next one.